Hi everyone. Today in this video we are going to understand what is an array in Java, how it is stored in a memory, what is one-dimensional and two-dimensional arrays in Java, and we are going to see each one with some practical examples step by step. We are also going to see why to use arrays in Java with some real world practical scenarios wherein we can use these arrays. We are going to see all these things in this video. So before we go ahead, please do not forget to like, subscribe and share this video. So let us understand what is an array in Java. So basically an array is a container object that holds a fixed size of values of the same data type. So let us understand it with some example. So this is an integer array which will hold 5 integer values. So integer array, it is a data type that it indicates that this is an integer array. Numbers is a reference variable, and new is a keyword which we can use to create an object in Java, and integer 5, that means it will contain 5 integer values, and 5 is a length or size of the array. Now here numbers is a reference, and this is the integer values. It will contain 5 integer values and we call it as an array object. So this is the definition of array in Java. Now let us understand how memory is allocated to this array. So this is an array declaration, and this is the integer type numbers, and this is the reference variable, and new integer 3, it's an array object which will hold 3 integer values because we have mentioned a 3 as a length or size of this array. Now we have different types of memory, like we have stack and heap memory. So number reference variable will be stored inside stack memory, whereas integer 3 different integer values will get created on the heap side, and this numbers reference variable will be pointing to the heap memory integer values. And what all things we can store inside the heap alongside with the integer values, like first we will store integer values based on what is the length of the integer. We have 3, so we will create 3 integer values like numbers 0, numbers 1 and numbers 2. Each one is initialized with 0 because we have not explicitly assigned it with some values. So by default it will assign by 0. Now apart from these 3 values, it will also contain the metadata. Metadata means what is the length of the array, and that is the 3. So this information also it will contain, and all this information will get pointed, means this numbers reference variable will point to this information which is inside the heap, whereas the number reference variable is inside the stack. So this is the memory representation of array in Java, how the reference variable is created and which part of memory it will get stored, and how the values of the array will get created and in which part of the data memory it will get stored. So we have seen in this. Now let us see how we can create our one-dimensional and two-dimensional Java arrays with some example. So for that we can create our Java project. So this is an STS editor, and here we can select this first option, create a Java project, and here we can give our project name. So we can give array demo, and we can choose the Java version 21, and here we can uncheck this module info option which is not needed, and we can click on next button and finish. Now here we have created our project with name array demo, and this is the Java version, and this is the src folder which will hold all our source code. Now here we can create one package inside this src by right clicking, and we can select the package, and here we can give some valid package like com.array, and we can finish. Now let us create one Java class. So for that we can select this class file, and here we can give some name like this is an array, and we can say it's an array example. This is the class. We can finish. So this is our package and this is our class with name array example. Now let us add our main method inside this, which is the starting point for our program. Now let us start by declaring the integer variable. So here we can define int price is equal to 100. So this is the integer variable how we can declare. Integer is a data type, price is a variable, and it will hold the value 100 which is a integer value. So this is the declaration of any int. Now what if this is about the particular integer value, but if you want to store multiple integer values, so what is the option for that? So basically, instead of writing int price 1, price 2, so this is not the option. So rather we can make use of integer array which is available for us in Java, and here we can give prices, and here we can initialize, so we can declare it like this one, or we can declare and initialize on the same statement, like we can use new keyword to create an object of integer type, and this is the integer array, and we need to mention what size we want to create the array of. So here this is the integer type, prices is the reference variable, new keyword which will create an object inside our memory, and this is the integer, 3 is the length, like how many integer values we are going to create. So this is the number which will indicate that we are going to create 3 integer values. Now this is how we can create multiple prices integer values. Now by default it will assign 0 values to all the integer prices, because we have not explicitly assigned it. If you want to explicitly assign the prices, how we can do that? Like here we can use prices 0 as an 101. Similar way we can assign the values for other. So this is for 0, this is for 1, and this is for 2. Now we have length as a 3, then we cannot exceed this 3 count, because the index will start from 0, next 1, and next 2. So we have 3 integer values. So this is how we can explicitly assign array values to array index. So this is the 0th, this is the 1th, and this is 2 index. Now how we can access the values from the arrays? Like for that we can use the for loop, and here we can use int I is equal to 0, this is for index, and we can use like where is it has less than length of the array, index is less than length, and we can increment the index. So this is the for loop. Now here we can use system.out.println, and here we can print our array values, like we can say value at index, and here we can add I, this is the index, and so we can simply print index I, and what is the value at index, so we can print value. For that we can append the value, like this is the prices of I. So basically, so here we need to add double quote, so single colon inside this quote. So basically it will print for each value, it will first print the index which is I, and for this index what is the value, so that value it will print it here, and we can save it. Now let us see by running this program how it shows. We can run it as a Java application. Now we can see for index 0 we have value 101, for index 1 we have again the same value, so we have not changed it, and for index 2 it is showing 102. Seems good. This is how we can access our array values using the index in a loop. Now let us see how we can so this is for manually assigning the values to our one-dimensional array. What if we want to, there is one more option we can go use for this, like here instead of this one, now here we can say this is the another integer reference variable, and here we want to directly assign the values, like let's say 11, 12 and 13. These are some 3 different integer values. So how many values we declare inside this curly bracket, that much length it will consider for this prices to array. Okay, so this is how we can declare our integer along with the values in one statement. So this is the another approach we can use as well. Now let us see how we can do for 2-dimensional arrays. So this is for 1-dimensional. So let us see how we can create a 2-dimensional array. So for 2-dimensional array, we need to define like this, because this is again this is the array of array. So accordingly we need to mention that, and here we have a matrix example. So we can take and we can use new int, and here we need to initialize it, like what is the length of first index, and this is the, for example, we can take an example of the rows and columns, and here we can say it has 2 rows and 3 columns. So this is the matrix we have defined or declared. Now how we can initialize this, like we can use a matrix, the 0th value at the 0 row and first value 0 0. This is we can assign 1. So similar way we can complete our first row. We have 3 values for first row. This is the 0 row and 0 column, first column, and this is the second column, and here we can add values for first column, and this is for the, so this is the 0 0 indicating first column, this is the second column value, this is the third column value of 0th row. So this is, we can say, row 0. Similar way we can add for row 1. This is first. And here we can add values like this is 4, 5 and 6, and we can save it. Now let us print these values, how we can access using the loop. So let us see. So for that we can use the for loop as is. We can copy this part, and this is the first outer loop which is for rows, and inside that we can again add one more loop just to access the columns, and here we need to use some other index, like we have taken I for rows and j for column, and this is for, we can say, for columns. Now let us see how we can use this. Now here instead of prices, here it should use the matrix dot length, and here actually we are printing all the columns of index I, which is I means row. For this row we are going to print all the columns. So this is how we can write our for loop for rows and column. Now let us print the values. So for that we can use system, which is for printing we can use this predefined library which is available in Java, and here we can simply print like for matrix I, this is the row index and this is the column index, and we can append with some space for, because we are going to print add the next value as well. So inside loop for each row it will print all the column values, and it will keep on repeating until we have all the values, or until it not terminate this condition or this condition. First it will keep on printing until it will terminate this condition for each row, and next it will keep on printing until it will not terminate all the rows. So this is how we can print. Now let us see how it will print. Like here we can use we can right click on this, and we can simply use run as a Java. Now we can see it has printed all these values. Now here we can do one more thing, like after it is now it is printing in a linear fashion. So let us add one println line break. So for that we can use it here, like this is the println after completing all the column values. Now let us run it again and check how it shows. Now it is showing in a row matrix way, like this is the first row and this is the second row. Seems good. This is how we can create one-dimensional array, two-dimensional array in Java, and assign the values and access it using loop, using the index which we have mentioned. Now let us understand why use arrays. So let us see the points. Which are those points? Like it will store multiple values in one variable. This is an advantage. Like we can access values using index. So we can access using index due to which it is faster. And next, like we can loop through values efficiently. So we can use for loop and access the values efficiently using the arrays. So what are the real world use cases for using the arrays? Like for one dimensional array we can store student marks or product prices in one dimensional array, whereas for two dimensional array we can create a timetable, table or spreadsheet. So these are some practical examples wherein we can use one dimensional and two dimensional arrays. So I hope you must have enjoyed this. So please do not forget to like, subscribe and share this. Thank you so much for watching this.